Good morning, students. I am Professor Rashi Bansal from PG Department of Mathematics, Khalsa College, Patiala. Today we will discuss the topic arithmetic function or number theoretic function and the theorem related to this topic. This is the topic from the subject analytic number theory, and this is the subject of MSc Math second year. Today, firstly, we will discuss about the definition of arithmetic function. Now, what is the definition of arithmetic function? Any real or complex valued function whose domain is positive integers is called arithmetic function. Any function whose domain is positive integers that we can say natural numbers. So, any function whose domain is only positive integers and it can give the real or complex value. So, its answer can be real or complex. It is called the arithmetic function. So, all those functions whose domain is positive integers and its answer can be any real or complex value. So, it will be a arithmetic function or number theoretic function. Now, we will discuss about some examples of arithmetic function. Firstly, we will discuss the Euler-Tauschen function. That is, Euler-Tauschen function is phi n. It is denoted by phi n. Now, what is its definition? If n greater than or equals to 1, the Euler-Tauschen function phi n is defined to be the number of positive integers not exceeding n which are relatively prime to n. So, what is the definition? That phi n is the counting of that positive integers is defined to be the number of positive integers not exceeding n. Where we have to take the counting. We have to take the counting from 1 to n which are relatively prime to n. So, we have to count those integers from 1 to n which are relatively prime to n. Relatively prime to n means GCD of that number with n is 1. Thus, what is the definition of phi n? Phi n is the summation 1. Summation 1 means counting. From where we have to start the counting? From 1 to n. Here is some dash. What is the meaning of dash? Where the dash indicates that the sum is extended over those k relatively prime to n. So, dash indicates that we have to count only those integers which are relatively prime to n. I will try to understand you with some examples. Let n is equals to 1. If n is equals to 1, we know that only 1 is there and it is prime to 1. So, phi n will be 1 because phi n is the counting of all those integers. If n is equals to 2, then k can be 1 and 2 because k is from 1 to n. Now, out of 1 and 2 which is relatively prime to 2, only 1. So, phi n will be 1. If n is 3, so k can be 1, 2, 3, and out of these 3 integers 1 and 2 are relatively prime to 3. So, answer will be 2 because these 2 are the integers. If n is 4, so k can be 1, 2, 3 up to 4. So, out of these 4 integers, only 1 and 3 are relatively prime to 4. So, 2 integers. So, phi n will be 2. So, phi n, the definition, that is summation 1, and dash indicates that we have to take only those k's which are relatively prime to n. And if n is p is for some prime. If n is p, then phi n will always be p minus 1, as we know, because prime is a number that is relatively prime to each integer except itself. So, phi n will be p minus 1 except p. For example, if n is 5. N is 5, 5 is a prime number. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Up to out of these 5 integers, only 5 is that integer that is not co-prime to 5, and other 4 integers are co-prime. So, phi n will be 5 minus 1, 4. Similarly, if n is 7, you can directly say phi n will be 6 because with prime number all are relatively prime except itself. So, we have to minus that except itself, then answer will be 1 less than the number. So, phi n will be 6. This is the example of Euler-Tauschen function. You see that in each example we have taken n1, 2, 3, 4 because we have to substitute only the positive integers in its domain because phi n is a Euler-Tauschen function which is the arithmetic function. Next example, I will take the divisor function. Divisor function is denoted by dn. What is dn? It represents the number of divisors of n. It is very easy because it represents the number of divisors, counting of the divisors of n. So, when n is 6, because we have to find d6. If we take n is equals to 6, how many numbers which can divide 6? 1, 2, 3, 6. So, 4, answer will be 4 because you have to count all the divisors. If n is equals to 10, and you know that divisors of 10 are 1, 2, 5, 10. So, these 4 integers are divisible. Divide 10. So, it will be 4 in counting. If we take n is equals to 15, then these 4 are the integers which divide 15, so answer will be 4. So this is the divisor function d, and its domain is positive integer, so it is also an arithmetic function. Its mathematical form we can say, what is dn? Dn will be summation 1. Summation 1 means d divides n. Summation 1 we have to count those d which divides n. So whenever d6, divisors of 6, 1, 2, 3, 6, so we have to 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, because we have to count all the 4 integers which divide 6, so answer will be 4. Next, another example is sigma n. What is sigma n? It represents the sum of divisors of n. It is very easy. It is also an arithmetic function. Here we have to add the divisors. In dn function we have counted the divisors of n, but in sigma n we are taking the sum of the divisors. So sigma 6 will be all the divisors we should add, and answer will be 12. Sigma 10, we have 4 divisors, 1, 2, 5, 10, and we will add these all divisors, and answer will be 18. So it is the function sigma n. And its mathematical form will be summation d divides n d. Its mathematical form will be summation d divides n d, because we have to add all the divisors. Now another example is sigma kn. Now what is sigma kn? It represents the sum of kth powers of divisors of n. Here we have to take the powers of the divisors, because when we have to sigma 2 6 means we have to take the divisors of 6 but raising power 2 to each divisor. So 1 square, 2 square, 3 square, 6 square. So answer will be 50. Similarly, if we have sigma 3 4, we have to take all 4 divisors of 4. Divisors of 4 are 1, 2 and 4. And we have to raise to power 3 to each divisor. So answer will be 73. So sigma kn is similar to sigma n, only the difference is that we have to raise the power to each divisor and add all these divisors. So what is its mathematical form? Sigma kn will be summation d divides n d raised to power k. Here we have add the divisors, here we have add the divisor by raising power k to each divisor. Now another example is omega n. Omega n, it represents the number of prime divisors of n. Here we have to count the divisors but only the prime divisors. For example, omega 6. We have 4 divisors, 1, 2, 3 and 6. But out of these 4 divisors, only 2 and 3 are prime numbers. Not relatively prime to 6. We have to take the only prime numbers. 2 and 3 are prime, so answer will be 2. When is omega 4? We have 3 divisors, 1, 2 and 4. And out of these 4 divisors, only 2 is a prime number. So answer will be 1, because only 2 is a prime number. And when we have to find omega 15, what is omega 15? Because here we have to take only the prime divisors. The divisors of 15 are 1, 3, 5 and 15. And out of these 4 divisors, 3 and 5 are the only prime divisors. So answer will be 2. So similarly, its mathematical form will be omega n will be summation 1, because we have to count the divisors, but which divisors? P divides n, only prime divisors. So here we have taken P divides n, where P is a prime number. So this is the example. This is another example that the arithmetic function we have done phi n, sigma kn and omega n. Another example I will take Mobius function mu n. Now this is another example of arithmetic function. What is the Mobius function? The Mobius function mu is defined as follows. That is mu1 is always 1. It's a notation that mu1 is always 1, and if n is greater than 1. If n is greater than 1, so you know that if n is greater than 1, we can write any integer n in its canonical form. What is canonical form? We can break it as the prime factors and raising power and with powers of their prime factors. So when, like, for example, we have 18, we can break the 18 into 2 into 3 square. Any number can be expressed as a prime factorization with some powers also. So n is written as p1, a1, p2, a2 up to pk, ak. Then what is mu n? How many primes are there? p1 to pk. When all powers are 1, a1, a2, ak, all powers are 1. So answer will be minus 1 raised to power k. Otherwise 0. Otherwise 0, if power of prime number is greater than 1, answer will be 0. So mu n answer is minus 1 raised to power k if all powers are 1. Note that mu n is 0 if and only if n has a square factor. Obviously, if power is greater than 1, then obviously p1 square, it will be divided by some square of any number. If it is p1 cube, it is also divided by p1 square. So when n has a square factor, the answer will be 0. So I will show you another definition of that function, Mobius function mu n. If n is 1, answer is 1. if for some prime p square divides n, because you know that if p cube, p4, p5 is there, then p square definitely divides that n. So if p square divides n, answer will be 0. But if n is only in prime factors, not any power, because all powers are 1, p1, p2, pk, and that how many primes are there? K prime, so answer will be minus 1 raised to power k. This is the another definition of Mobius function. Now I will show you some example of that function. If n is 1, mu1 is 1, we know that. If n is 2, now 2, how can we write 2 raised to power 1? So power is 1 and only one prime factor, so minus 1 raised to power 1, answer is minus 1. Similarly, if n is 3, so 3 can be written as a 3, so minus 1 raised to power 1, answer is minus 1. But if n is 4, you know that n is 4, and 4 can be written as 2 square, so power is greater than 1, it is divided by some square of some number, so answer will be 0. Because we have only 3 answers, 1, minus 1 and 0. When n is 5, mu 5. 5 is written as a 5. So 1 prime only, minus 1 raised to power 1, minus 1. Similarly, if mu 6. Now see, mu 6. What is 6? 6 can be expressed as 2 cross 3. Here powers are 1 and we have 2 primes. So minus 1 raised to power 2. Because minus 1 raised to power k. How many primes? 2 primes are there. So answer will be 1. Similarly, mu 8. Mu 8 will be 0 because it is 2 cube and it is divided by some square of some number. 2 square. So it will be 0. So mu n, I can show you the table of mu n. That is n 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to 10. Mu n will be accordingly as. And if n is 9. If it is divided by 3 square, so answer will be 0. So mu n is that function. If n is 1, it is a 1. If it is divided by some square of some number, it will be 0. And if it is only expressed as a prime factors only, so how many prime factors are there? That will be the minus 1 raised to power k, and that will be the answer. So mu n has only three numbers in its range. Its answer can be 1, minus 1 and 0. So we have done up to these are the examples of the arithmetic function, that is dn, sigma k n, mu n and phi n. These are all the examples of arithmetic function. Now we will discuss about it another theorems related to this topic. We will discuss it in our another lecture. Thank you. Thanks a lot.